Question number 2, Paul Goldsmith.
Mr. Speaker, thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Finance and asks, what recent reports has he received on the economy?
Honourable Bill English.
Mr. Speaker, yesterday Statistics New Zealand released, for the first time, a number of different indicators of employment and unemployment. While the unemployment rate increased slightly to 6.4%, it was below the 6.8% of a year ago. Employment growth was up by 8,000 in the quarter, following an increase of 38,000 in the previous quarter, indicating a reasonably solid improvement in the labour market. The results also show 6,000 more young people were studying in the June quarter, with the number of youth not in employment, education or training falling to the lowest level since the beginning of 2008. The QES Quarterly Employment Survey showed an extra 65,400 jobs in the economy over the past 2 years. This confirms a moderately improving labour market, although the data does move around from quarter to quarter.
Supplementary question, Paul Goldsmith.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To the Minister, what other reports has he received on the economy that support expectations of an improving overall trend in the economy?
Honourable Bill English. Order.
Speaker, the Treasury this week issued its monthly economic indicators report for July. It concludes that indicators are signalling moderate GDP growth, depending on the ongoing impact of the drought earlier this year. But of course, the confidence surveys ask people in the economy what they think is happening, and those surveys show that confidence remains elevated, that companies intend to hire more people and invest more funds, which should provide a solid base for growth in the second half of 2013. Treasury notes there are signs that the recovery will become more broad-based as growth in building activity benefits local manufacturers and the agriculture sector bounces back from the drought.
Supplementary question, Paul Goldsmith.
To the Minister, what did the Treasury's monthly economic indicators report say about the employment market, particularly the impact of increases in business confidence on new jobs?
Honourable Bill English.
Mr. Speaker, we only get new jobs when businesses do make the decision to invest another dollar and employ another person. Treasury noted that healthy levels of business confidence are translating into stronger hiring intentions and into investment intentions. Quoting from the NZIER's quarterly survey, the Treasury notes that the labour market appears to be recovering, even though that recovery is gradual. A net 9% of firms intend to employ more staff over the next quarter. For instance, firms continue to report that skilled labour is difficult to find, particularly in Canterbury.
Supplementary
question, Honourable Clayton Cosgrove.
To the Minister, what long-term certainty is there for the people of Southland, and what are the benefits for taxpayers and the economy as a whole in respect of the deal with Rio Tinto, which 1. reduces the notice period for closing the smelter, 2. reduces the price the smelter pays for electricity, 3. includes a one-off payment of $30 million of taxpayers' money to Rio Tinto in order for the government to hasten the sale of Meridian Energy, and does nothing to stop Rio Tinto from leveraging the taxpayer and the government yet again on or before January 1, 2017.
Honourable Bill English. Order. Order.
Because I won't have him in Christchurch East. He has to go somewhere they don't know.
Order. Order.
Somewhere where he's...
Order. Would the Minister address the question?
Mr. Speaker, I disagree with the member. Rio Tinto have negotiated a commercial contract with Meridian, where Meridian have weighed up the benefits of retaining a major customer who uses 40% of their electricity against the opportunities to sell that electricity to other buyers. The government's contribution provides certainty for Invercargill, for 800 workers, certainty for the electricity market, and it will provide some certainty for investors in the Meridian float. I dare say if the announcement today was no deal and the smelter was closing, then the Labor Party would say the government should have intervened.
Question number 3, Dr. Kennedy Graham.